from the Digital Media Center on the campus of Southern Oregon University in Ashland, Oregon. This is Ramping Up Your English, an educational program for intermediate level English language learners. Here's your host for Ramping Up Your English, John Letts.
Welcome to Ramping Up Your English, winner of the Southern Oregon Television Award for Program of the Year and the award for Best Educational Program. I'm the host and producer, John Letts. Ramping Up Your English is an educational support program for intermediate English learners. It's a program for people from all language backgrounds. Ramping Up Your English is also for people of all ages. If you've already passed the beginning stages of learning English and want to reach higher levels of proficiency, this program is designed to meet your needs. We take a content-based approach to helping you reach higher levels of English proficiency. Our current thematic unit is animals. This is segment 1 of episode 55. Our last episode was dedicated to OR7, a wolf that undertook an epic journey from eastern Oregon to northern California, becoming the first live wolf in California in 88 years. I introduced 2 books that I recommended for reading. There's another book about wolves that may meet the reading levels of many viewers, so I want to let you know about it. Now, for an easier and less artistic read than the earlier book I reviewed, I recommend this book from Scholastic Books. This from their I Can Read series. It's entitled simply Wolves. Now, this book for young readers begins with a wolf howling. And as in our last episode, the wolves in the distance answer. Now, Janice Kinley illustrates the book. Read the last 2 sentences. If they make sense to you, see if that's the case. The last 2 sentences here. Now see if you can read the words at the bottom of this page. We've talked about the characteristics of mammals, so you've probably heard about this before. Now this page tells you about a wolf's physical adaptations as well as details on how it eats its prey. The book is written by Janet Palazzo Craig. These pages illustrate and explain the wolf pack as a family and explains the concept of social animals. The text is fairly simple and straightforward, and illustrations give the reader context clues for finding the meaning of the words. The series name I can read about, and this set is called Animal Hunters. Now, these are available only through the school market. You may be able to find some if you go to Scholastic Books. I'll have the ISBN on my website, letscreate.org, as well as a link to their website. In the review, I've shown only a few of the 45 pages in this book. Wolves, written by Janice Palazzo Craig and illustrated by Janice Kinley. We'll be back with more of Ramping Up Your English after this.
Organization that's doing big-time restoration of forests and stream banks.
Hello, I'm John Letts, producer of Adventures in Education. Welcome back. Thanks to some great decisions by Congress and the dedication of U.S. Fish and Wildlife personnel, conservation groups, and Native American groups, North America now has wild wolves again. North America also has other canine populations living in the wild. Coyotes are extending their range throughout North America. Coyotes can live in a variety of habitats, even in urban areas. Now, I've seen a picture of a coyote on a subway train. They are highly adaptable and therefore increasing their range. Coyotes are often the prey of gray wolves, but some share wolf haven with their predators. And the famous wolf, OR7, ran with a pack of coyotes briefly during his epic migration. Now, while I've never heard the howl of a wolf, I'll never forget the coyote howl I heard just outside my tent that night in Hell's Canyon, or the distant reply that I heard. Now, another North American canine is the gray fox, much smaller than a gray wolf. This fox can climb trees. I've encountered one on a trail along the Rogue River. It took its sweet time leaving the trail, as if to tell me it wasn't doing so on my account. Since that brief standoff, I've seen fleeting glimpses of gray foxes at night. Now, with its convergence of biomes and habitats, Southern Oregon is blessed with a plethora of wildlife, now joined by the rogue wolf pack. Even with all its celebrated megafauna, North America is not the only place to find animals living the wild life. How about Latin America? All that incredible country from Mexico down through South America, all the way to Cape Horn. The southern area of Argentina is known as Patagonia. This southern polar region is home of many interesting animals. One of them is the second largest rodent on Earth. It's called a cavy. Now, we get to meet one today thanks to Wildlife Safari in Winston, Oregon. Leila Goulet and Julianne Rose brought a cavy to the Digital Media Center for an appearance on Adventures in Education. Let's see that part of the program.
If you look in a book like this one, you'll learn that the capybara is the largest rodent in the world. But what's the second largest rodent? I didn't need a book to answer that question. I met the second largest rodent last year on a TV program called Adventures in Education. My human guests were Leila Goulet and Julianne Rose from Wildlife Safari. Let's see what they taught us about cavies.
So, looks like this is an animal that enjoys her breakfast.
Yes, she's been waiting very patiently for her breakfast this morning. It's been pretty good.
Okay, so what can you tell me about this?
So this is Patty, and she's actually a Patagonian cavy. They're native to South America, Patagonia to be specific, and they are the second largest rodent in the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the first one being the
capybara.
Capybara, okay.
Yes.
Now, this, what did you say her name was again?
Her name is Patty. But
Patty,
yes.
okay.
Yes.
Now, Patty has, what's her history?
She was actually brought to the park as a donation, and she's just been an absolutely amazing ambassador animal for us. We take her out on outreach, and she's able to be touched by the public as well, so it's a really great way to get hands-on with these animals, and she just has the perfect personality for it as well.
I'm trying to get her little cooing sound. That's why I'm leaning forward.
She's pretty much like a giant guinea pig with the way she interacts and her sounds and her diet.
And her diet actually doesn't smell so bad. It's kind of has a green smell to it.
Yeah, and in the wild they would eat things like grasses and plants. And here at Safari we feed her some pellet mixtures so that she gets the vitamins and minerals she needs, but she also gets fruits and vegetables that are high in vitamin C, as well as some hay as well.
And diet is very important for
It's really important for all of our animals as well. Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a part of the educational outreach.
Yes.
And that's the reason you guys are on the show.
Yeah, exactly.
I found out, first of all, that Wildlife Safari is a nonprofit organization.
It is actually, yes. Not a lot of people realize that.
And I think part of that is that, you see signs for it, billboards for it on the freeway. You see people going in, and you might think, oh, well, this is a for-profit kind of thing. But actually, you guys are nonprofit.
That's right. That's right. We have 600 acres there, and it costs around $12,000 a day just to run. So all of the proceeds that we get from admissions and donations and fundraising events, that's basically how we raise our money. So we're not at all city funded.
So if you think that the entrance fee is steep, compare that to going to South America, to Patagonia,
you're probably going to pay 6 times that much just for the coat you're going to need in Patagonia, right? Because it gets very
Absolutely.
cold down there.
No, it's a great way to get people to be really close with the animals and to really create that bond. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to see these animals any other way. You know, not many of us exactly can travel to Patagonia or Africa.
Not on my
No.
not on my retirement.
No.
So,
Most rodents we're familiar with have scaly tails, but cavies have no tail at all. If you're a student in Oregon schools, you may get to meet this cavy. It's one of Wildlife Safari's ambassador animals, part of their outreach to schools. You can watch the entire episodes of Adventures in Education that features Wildlife Safari. Visit archive.org/details/roguetv. Find the sidebar and click on my name, John Letts. From there, you can select the Adventures in Education episode featuring Wildlife Safari. Both of these episodes were directed by Denise Ross, with Steve Drieben doing a multitude of technical tasks. My thanks to Leela Goulet and Wildlife Safari's Education Outreach.